Hey everybody, and welcome to Miscast Commentary. I am Joe Finley.
I'm Todd Tebow, the Sailor Marine.
And we are back together again after a couple of weeks because of...
Reunited and it feels so good.
Oh, baby. We just had to pay $70,000.
I was at sea.
Todd was at sea. I was doing everything else. I was doing...
in the barrel for 2 weeks, bye.
There it is. I did... Niagara Falls Comic Con. I was doing media coverage.
That's why you got kicked out.
Yeah, I was doing media coverage there for the weekend, and I went on Saturday as a visitor.
Coverage at Disney.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you're gonna be I mean, you're gonna be the new guy who hums the E.T. theme song.
They can't afford
of Man's Chinese Theater for coins.
Yes, they can't afford to play the John Tesh music anymore. Actually, I don't know. I don't know why I just automatically assumed that John Tesh did that music because he was an Entertainment Tonight host
and musician.
But a musician. But he had like
double whammy paycheck, buddy. That's like when you hire Lady Gaga to act in your movie.
Yeah, but actually we got to talk about that in a little bit too. But we have to it just reminds me because he did the theme to the NBA on NBC, which was like one of the most like that one, and it was really and it was funny because I guess there's a video you can see it on YouTube.
How much money you got for that?
Probably plenty.
Probably not cash. What do you make the fucking
I have
no idea. Money per time it's played?
I don't really know the rules behind that. I'm sure that he does, but it's not a thing.
Ladies like mad cash.
Oh,
for the fucking Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, they're getting constant checks coming in at that, man.
Money rolling in there, by
actually Seinfeld, another person we're talking about in this episode. Lots of teases, guys. I actually have to find my notes on this because I said I got to bring up my notes, and then I
didn't look at nothing.
Well, this is why I'm here.
I was at sea. I watched wrestling. That's about it.
All right. Well, I want to start right off the bat because a lot of stuff's going on right now with Star Wars, obviously. Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is up and running, and it's been so good.
I know what you guys think in the Miscast universe, but I thought it was pretty darn tootin' good.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of, because it's really funny. It's like a real... I wouldn't even say it's a 50-50 split, but you know how the complainers are just always louder, right? So like so many people are showing so much love to it, and then like you get these people, and there's a few people specifically who are like, this is bullshit, this ruins canon, this destroys this creates a big plot hole. Well, and then sometimes there's arguments that it actually did more, because they're like,
people even believe it.
No.
People have nothing better to do than just incite and instigate.
Foster engagement. Yes. They know if I do, anytime you do a hot take, you're going to get people responding, and a lot of engagement bumps you up. It's the only reason I see these, because it's already happened.
What did you say is your new mantra?
Oh, I am officially I'm officially no longer engaging in the nonsense, because all it is trolling, and it's like, I'm not going to change their mind by coming at them with anything.
You will not.
Like, I can literally come with like a thing, because I remember one time they're like, this was not George Lucas's vision for blah blah blah, and I was like, well, first off, tell me more about how you know about what George Lucas's vision for anything was. And second of all, George Lucas, for the genius that he was, had to be reined in so much.
Of course.
Like, the biggest example I give, Leia was not going to be Luke's sister.
Right.
That was not his idea. He didn't want it. He wanted, on the third movie, for Luke to go off on some separate adventure again and find his sister. So in the late going of the last movie, you'd be introducing a brand new character that would be pretty meaningless to you, because it's like, oh, wow, you're my sister. The end. It's like, I have to go fight Darth Vader now.
That's like, the same thing with lots of things. Where they're like, no, it should be. That's why I said for all of them that he should have just been like the director idea guy, and somebody else writes it.
He should have been he should have been the Feige.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Because that's my big complaint. If I've got one big complaint about the sequel trilogy, is they didn't have a continuous voice through the whole thing. J.J. Abrams came in, and like Kathleen Kennedy is a weak leader when it comes to this sort of thing too. She's kind of like, oh, whatever works, I guess. And J.J. Abrams came in. He made Force Awakens,
which is funny because before you said, you know, you're doing the same thing. Is like you're assuming the way Kathleen Kennedy is.
No, but I'm just going based on what I see her reaction being.
Okay.
Because it's like she comes in and she goes, we're gonna do this. And then it was like, all right, and then it's like it didn't work the way. All right, we're never doing that again. Don't worry about it. And then it was like
the
it was
second one happened. It was so cool.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make an omelet, baby. You got to break some eggs.
Yeah,
You got to kill some people.
But she just feels very hands off. But now they have Dave Filoni, who's done Mandalorian and all that.
Yes.
He's the creative.
He's the man.
He's the creative director of Star Wars now. Period.
He knows everything. Like more than Luke is this guy.
Right? So people forget that too because they're like, oh, he's not show running this.
Frankenstein's monster, baby. This guy just he's sorry, but he knows more than you do, George.
Yeah. But that's the thing, and it was just like so. But with the sequel, so you had J.J. Abrams came in, did his thing. Rian Johnson comes in. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to kind of take it in this direction. But at the very least, he continued what was kind of happening.
Right.
Now,
I liked what he did.
Oh, I liked what he did too, very much. But it was one of those things where he's like, I'm taking you guys somewhere new. And then there were people who were like, no, you can't do that to Luke. You can't make Luke sad. Why would he be sad? Like, just a million tragedies happen. Why would he ever be?
While watching Obi-Wan, with the people I was watching it with, I won't name names. I should.
Rick Scott, former LA Laker.
Oh my God, he's gonna get so much hate tonight. Ooh, look out for the wave of hate, baby. But I was like, this Obi-Wan's cool. I'm really digging it. You get young Leia, who's like so like what a strong female, everything. I'm like whatever. But did you also notice? Totally feminist show, all chicks. There's 2 dudes in it. Yeah. Darth and Obi-Wan. Yeah. And we don't know because we argued about that lizard guy. Hey, it's these fangs.
Zach Braff played him.
Oh, was it? He's like, hey, I'm this guy driving through the desert. I was like, he arguably could be a female.
He could be a female.
He never stated his sex.
Kumail's a male.
Oh, Kumail.
He even has male in the name.
We don't know.
I'm gonna play
we're guessing.
I'm gonna play the assume game.
But anyways, I said, you know what I want to see with Star Wars? I was like, continue this stuff, but I was like, I want a new story altogether. Yeah. There's an entire galaxy far, far away. Yeah. I want new characters, new bad guys, not the Empire, no Skywalker. Yeah. And they were like, why? And I was like, what do you mean why?
It's a gigantic.
Exactly. I was like, well, what the fuck? So once they're done with Skywalker, that's the end of Star Wars? Yeah. I was like, we need new stories. There's all types of crazy shit going on out there.
Well, we got a lot of good news for you on that front because there is a ton of new stuff coming. They agreed with characters. They agree with you. Taika Waititi will have no known characters in his series. I don't know if it's a series or a movie, right? That's literally the first thing. Good. But then on top of that, the show Acolyte that's coming out, the Star Wars show, takes place in the High Republic, which is the Old Republic, which is thousands of years before. So this is when
that's cool.
This is when there were Jedi all over the galaxy because they were like
too many Jedi. What a bunch of pricks.
Yeah.
Cocky sons of bitches.
But like it was like all that kind of stuff, and so like they've got a lot of cool plans. Just kind of again going back to like the whole sequel thing. So yeah, like Rian Johnson did that, and he splits the crowd because he wanted to kind of go somewhere with it. Then Colin Trevorrow was going to go another direction, and they didn't really like that, so they had their moment and broke up. Then J.J. Abrams comes in. He's like, I'm going to do my own thing in a rush, and he's like, I'm going to undo a bunch of the shit that was done here and redo my own thing. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of bad improv in terms of like you're not yes-anding. It's like you and I go into the thing. It's like, that's not a gun. It's soap. But like that's the thing.
Don't fucking do the gun thing again. I swear. I swear to God, don't do the gun thing.
Freeze! I have a gun. That was The Office. That was so good. Yeah. But the I know.
Pee Wee Herman at the fucking matinee, baby.
Topical, but
who's the new one then?
Yeah,
Trump.
Ezra,
daughter's pool party.
Ezra Miller in his hotel room with his underage kidnappee. Ooh. Apparently, he fucking kidnapped somebody. That's like
Ezra
a thing.
Miller?
Yeah,
of the Flash?
That's we'll get into that in a little bit too. But
man, I didn't look at nothing.
But it escalated quickly because like he went from like, oh, he's in trouble again to, oh, he was grooming some girl to, I was reading today, he sent it like a video message to police while hiding out in a hotel with this girl.
Oh my God, the reviews for The Flash were apparently like the WB execs were saying it's like the best. Mm-hmm. It was like the best. Yeah. Like WB comic book DC movie. Yeah. And now he's
And here's the
Is the
problem.
movie going to be oh my god, we got to talk about this right now.
Yeah. We're not going to do this later. So anyways, so this is happening. So he was getting in trouble because right before Fantastic Beasts came out, which he's also in, he was arrested in Hawaii for like assaulting somebody. And then he ended up, and then during that same trip, he apparently like broke into somebody's hotel room. I don't know the entire story.
He's a creepy fuck.
Yeah. So like all of these things were happening back to back. And I'm like, oh my God, what are they going to do? And I was like, Fantastic Beasts comes out like on Friday. Well, at the time,
and then movies.
I know they keep trying.
Oh God,
they keep trying
up on it already.
But yeah, it's they always seem to make them just okay enough to make it. It's like, well, we got to finish out the story.
It almost reminds me of like Percy Jackson,
because like this one, I've seen all of them, and this one was the best of the 3 Fantastic Beasts movies. So it's like, oh, okay, we're getting somewhere, but it was still like nowhere near as good as any of the Harry Potters. But Mads Mikkelsen, fantastic. He's so good.
Okay, he was against the
So yeah. So anyways, he's going through all this stuff, and you're like, well, what are you going to do about him? Because it's like you can't let him get away and just like, oh, just let him off with all this. But they're like, well, Fantastic Beasts is coming out, and the Flash is already in the can. A flash in the can. You get it?
Flash in the can, baby.
So they're like, well, what are we going to do? And it was like, it was assault, whatever. I was like, by the time Flash comes out, it'll have blown over. Then it was like, oh, Ezra Miller accused of grooming some like 16-year-old girl, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, uh-oh. I'm like, this is going to get bad. Because now WB, like Warner Brothers is going to have a choice to make.
They're going to scrap it.
They either have to scrap this movie that features friggin' Ben Affleck and thing, or they get insurance because insurance will let you reshoot movies in certain scenarios. I don't know if our star is under like police investigation, falls under that. Like if somebody died,
right,
they would let you they would pay for all reshoots. But you're talking about the titular character. They would have to redo the whole movie, every effect, like
just scrap it.
And so that's the thing, right? And then I was like, at this point, I was like, it's in their best interest to figure out what to do, man.
There's the Snyderverse, now this.
Yeah,
they need to, they're like cursed. They're like comic book cursed.
I know. And so, and it's bad, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do moving forward? And I was like, and
how can you prove you groomed someone?
Yeah, well, it's
something you can prove, I guess, over text messages or whatever. Like
everything's the internet now,
right?
Everything's like that's all you got to do is find a chat room or
whatever.
Or yeah.
We don't do it there. You groom in person, man. Fuck this internet shit. You got to do it old school.
Yeah, no, but that's like I think that's the biggest. I think the biggest part of the grooming is the like isolating them and like eventually you'll be able to meet
his career in a flash.
Probably not. It'll probably be just fine, and then like he will reignite the Snyderverse.
Louis C.K. won best comedy album.
Yep,
2022, which I didn't even know it came out.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, and then I saw that, and then somebody was like, "Oh yeah, tell me, cancel culture's a real thing."
Yeah, right. Like exactly.
Fuck, but
no shit.
But yeah, so that was a big deal. But yeah, that's a weird way from the spin-off of our Star Wars stuff.
Flash anyway.
I didn't think he was good as the Flash either.
He was fucking terrible.
Fans like DC fans in general think the guy who plays the Flash in the Arrowverse show is much better.
Agreed. Yes,
and like they did like a petition or something like that and said like let him just be the Flash in the movies now.
He should be older.
Well, wasn't it a little bit of
like some young guy? Like I feel like he's like an older guy.
Yeah, well, especially
skinnier.
Well, and like again, it's kind of like Spider-Man. Is you've had the versions of him, so you get to pick. But I was like, I think they just wanted to have a young guy amongst the group of older guys, right? Which I get because it was the same thing with having younger Spider-Man for Avengers and all that, right? But like, it was just
a scene in the fucking thing where like all the Justice League is fighting Superman, and he's like, the Flash is running, and he can see that Superman's like watching him as he's fighting everybody else. Like, come on, Flash is way faster than Superman is.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think
Superman way too powerful.
Well, that becomes one of those canon things too, because sometimes they just let him do whatever, and they're like, "Wait a minute, that means he's faster than the Flash," because you said, and then it's like, and that's
exactly. You need the team then? Why do you just have Superman?
Exactly. Well, I saw a thing today, and they're like, "Who would win in a fight, Superman or Thor?" I'm like, "Superman." It's not even close. Superman wins.
You never know though. They say that in the universe, that Thor is like super ridiculous powerful. Yeah, he's a god. Superman's not a god.
No,
although Wonder Woman's a god and he kicked her ass.
Yeah, well, and just like and it just it falls to the thing of just invulnerability too. Right, like he can.
As long as he's in the yellow sun, he's like invulnerable. Yeah, and anything but kryptonite.
Yeah, and technically speaking, he's probably worthy of Mjolnir, so we can take that away from him too.
Probably, if anybody be worthy of Mjolnir, it would be Superman.
So that's a whole kettle of worms, kettle of fish, what have you. But
why would they fight? Because Thor would be angry that Superman beat up Batman or lost to Batman.
Yeah. You guys had a fight over whose name was Martha? Is that what I'm getting from here?
Yeah, exactly.
But moving on from all that. So anyways, the bottom line with the whole Star Wars thing is, yes, there are a lot of new things coming, and we're going to see a lot of new directions.
Buy some for $8.4 million and only make a couple of things.
We're also going to see another. Another anthology animated series, Tales of the Jedi, which is going to tell a bunch of
Crypt Keeper.
Yes, no, but it's going to be a lot of side stories and stuff. You're going to get like the story of like the fall of Count Dooku from like when he was a Jedi all the way down, and you have it's going to be him with his Padawan Qui-Gon Jinn and all that. And some people are back for it. Like Liam Neeson is going to be Qui-Gon Jinn in the animated thing.
Cool.
And so there's like a lot of people like that happening.
The whole thing with him blew over.
Yeah.
Everything to give a shit.
Well, the thing is, I have such a hard time now with any of those things, because it's like you don't want to discount anybody's thing saying he did this to me, they did this, and like I know his was he said something and he said something or whatever, but I'm just talking in a very blanket sense right now of people getting in trouble. So I don't want to discount anything, even if it's somebody, I really like this guy, he can't be guilty. I don't want to do that sort of thing. But once we've had a real chance to like properly investigate, if I'm seeing, the police really seem to not be doing shit about this and whatever, and that makes me a little more suspicious too. But when the due diligence is done, and I don't want to get into the whole Depp Heard thing, but when the due diligence is done and everything points the other way, then it's like, okay, I think we can go back to just being fine again.
Then she went on like Today Show or whatever. Yeah, that was Savannah just savage her. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I agree with whatever that stupid show I was watching in the gym.
Yeah.
And they were like, just give it up, girl.
Yeah.
Just give it up and go home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were just like, the court of law just said that this is it. Like, do I really trust the court of law? Not really.
No.
I more trust the court of public opinion. Mm-hmm. And I agree with all the Star Wars people.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that Amber Heard did ruin Star Wars. Actually, she is being fully cut from Aquaman 2 as well.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, and she's going to be recast Freddy.
She beat up Johnny Depp. Who cares?
Well, apparently she's going to be. Apparently, she was all but cut out of the movie anyways. And now they're like, we're just severing our relationship with her. It's too much drama. We're getting. So, if they do anything with her in this, like they've cut her role down to nothing. If they do anything with her in this movie, she's being recast, and then she'll be different.
Who could be the new? Let's recast her.
Actually, I really liked the one that I saw was Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. She's
thumbs down.
No, why is that?
Because it just says so. No.
Okay, fair enough.
I think she has to be a taller, more slender.
Okay.
Who?
I don't think
CG de-aged Pam Anderson.
Nice.
In her uniform from Snapdragon. You thought
Snapdragon.
Baywatch.
I was actually going to say Tool Time.
Ooh, that would be good, yeah.
Which actually, that brings us to my next thing, which is Tim Allen. Because he's not even really doing it. He's doing his own stupid stuff right now. But a lot of like right-wing celebrities are coming out going, Pixar should be ashamed of themselves for replacing him.
Rid of him. Well, because it's a different guy. It's not really him.
But this is the thing, and this was Disney. So for people who don't know, Tim Allen is not playing Buzz Lightyear in Lightyear. Chris Evans is playing him. Now, Disney's excuse, which I can understand if somebody's like, bullshit, that's a bullshit excuse. I do understand that. But their thing was, this isn't the Buzz Lightyear, like the entertainment, like this is the Buzz Lightyear that inspired a franchise, right? And it was like, and then other people were like, that's not what this is, it's this, it's that. And I'm like, again, haven't seen the movie. I'm like, right now I'm only going off of what Disney said, because they're the only ones who have any knowledge about it. When we see the movie, we'll know whether or not they were full of shit. Like, that's all there is to that. But
how will we know by seeing the movie? Well,
because if like they don't, like, they'll probably like make some reference to the fact that he is like, they'll at the end.
Would they? It's a future franchise. It's about like, it's
no, I tell you 100% why. Because he's gonna like be famous, and they will make a reference of like, oh, there's gonna be like they're gonna make a TV show about you, or they're gonna make toys out of you, or
that's what it is right there.
Yeah,
he'll see the first toy, and they'll zip the thing, and it'll be Tim Allen, and he'll be like, that doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna say.
Yeah, they'll do something like that. But anyways, the prevailing theory.
Like, what would you even waste your time writing something? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Him and Two-Man Taylor's got lots of money.
Yeah.
And so does Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And it's the acting Hollywood world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't control one thing in it, so shut the fuck up.
I know. But the prevailing theory was obviously, oh, Tim Allen's right wing, so Disney wants to get rid of him. But then my question to you is this: why did they just sign him on Disney Plus to do Santa Claus, the TV show?
Yeah, well, so is Chris Pratt. He's a big conservative. Yeah. Like, he's fucking, like, whatever.
He's married into a friggin' Republican family.
Yeah, like, fuck.
But there's a lot of that, and it's just like, but it was just really funny because it's like, okay, well, your argument falls flat, specifically because Disney, the company you claims doesn't like him, literally just hired him to do something else, which then lends way more credence to their reasoning behind not using him in the other thing.
Anybody.
No.
Like, they will complain about literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. You will give them a winning lottery ticket.
Yep.
And they will complain about the color of the paper.
Yeah. So then
they will whatever.
Yeah. So then we go to the next thing that people complained about was the first episode of Ms. Marvel.
Oh, they're gonna say
that came out.
Commentary.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. No, just that one.
Did she get the same powers as the other Marvel?
No.
I thought she was stretchy.
In the comics,
fucking what's his name?
In the comics, she's stretchy like Mr. Fantastic, but they explained, because they were like, why didn't you just give her the same powers? And they're like, the reason is in the comics she's an Inhuman. And they kind of just wiped that out, like with the whole Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing.
Right.
They kind of like wiped that out of like the current reality of the MCU. So they're like, it's not a thing right now.
She still could have been stretchy.
Yeah, no, I know, but then it's like,
why did she have to be Inhuman?
But here's the thing is, well, but then really what's the difference? They gave her the same power, but it's like, well, she didn't get it the right way. It's the same. It ends up being the same complaint.
Well, whatever. Like, I mean...
Right?
Is she stretchy though, or what was
what she has this like mystic band kind of thing, like kind of like the 10 Rings kind of thing, but not.
Okay.
But what it allows her to do is actually like in one part, like she reaches out and a big arm comes out, almost like the Green Lantern.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. It sounds like the Green Lantern almost, or something.
But what it does, it basically creates extensions of herself doing exactly the same thing as being stretchy, just not being stretchy. So I was like, there was that, and then there was all kinds of like weird like LGBT things, complaints, whatever.
There's a gay kiss in.
Oh, that was the other thing
in
Lightyear.
Yeah, and I guess China asked for them to cut it out, and they were like, "Nope."
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? Disney's got more money than China. Disney doesn't have to fucking give in to anybody.
Well, that was good, but they've also been under a lot of fire too with stuff like that, because they're like, oh, they try to be like all, you know, for the people, like that kind of thing. But then they were bowing to China on a lot of things. Like the American poster for like Star Wars had like a very prominent Finn. And then for the Chinese one, he's teeny tiny in the corner and stuff like that, right? So they're like, guys, like you
can't put the Asian girl in the front because she's LGBTQ. They're like, what do we do?
Yeah. So
this poster's is black. What's his name?
Yeah, it's like an Australian pack of cigarettes. It's just
like a pack of cigarettes here.
It's a dirty lung with a warning.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Lightyear. So that was another thing. United Arab Emirates just refused altogether to broadcast it. And so so there's all that stuff. And it's over the smallest little moment. It's kind of like the same thing with like making
in the crowd
Sulu gay and start
like, yay, everything's fine, and you see two guys kissing as it like pans over, everybody cheering.
Well, it's the focus is on them. Like I didn't see the whole scene, but I saw like a shot of the scene,
right?
And the focus is on them, but the shot's probably going to be like 6 seconds. It's not like they're friggin'.
Exactly.
It's not like they're jerking each other off while they're like
the credits. So that's the after credit scene is the jerk.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It's the reach around.
Yeah, it's like the end of Doctor Strange, where like Bruce Campbell was like beating himself up. It's these guys going, "Oh, we've been doing this for 3 weeks."
Weirdest, like after this, I was like, "What the shit?"
That was just.
I love seeing him.
That was just Sam. Yeah, that was Sam Raimi. Oh, like Bruce saved his life at some point, and.
Well, he did. Bruce Campbell's the fucking.
Well, Bruce. I guess Bruce did save his life in terms of.
They could have made Doctor Strange Bruce Campbell. I never would have complained.
Back in the day, somebody mentioned that a long time ago, actually. Like in the 90s, and they're like, Sam Raimi should make Doctor Strange with Bruce Campbell, and they
there you go.
But yeah, that would have been. I was gonna say that would have been strange, but then I would have had to murder myself.
Yes.
But yeah. So, anyways, I did watch Ms. Marvel though. It's fun, but my only complaint about it is these Disney Plus series are so short. You do not have time for the slow burn that they're giving us for this show. Like, she didn't like discover her shit till the very end of the first episode. I'm like, we're already 1/6 of the way through this whole thing. Like, fuck.
They're introducing a new character to their all-female led Avengers team.
And I understand that fully, and I get it. It's just
2 dudes now.
It's just frustrating.
It's like 2 fucking dudes.
Yeah. Oh. You have Falcon, the Winter Soldier, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor.
Thor's gone. I can tell you right now. Yeah. I think Thor Love and Thunder looks like trash.
Really?
Honest to God, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know, man. The vibe of like the other one's like, I don't know, man. It's like,
yeah.
I gotta see the movie. I'll give you my full thing when the movie comes out. I'm not excited for Jane to become Thor.
Yeah.
It's not because she's a chick. I just don't think Thor should be hanging it up yet.
Yeah.
They've only had so many movies. There's been so many adventures.
But at the same time, it's like
maybe he wants to do something else.
Yeah, he said like I think that Taika like kind of upped it a bit.
Right.
And made him like he even said he was bored. He was done with Thor until Thor Ragnarok came out.
Yeah.
So it's like I get it. And it's like the same thing. Like I could have gone with like 3 or 4 more Chris Evans Captain Americas, but it's like you're not keeping these guys forever. The fact that you had them for as long as he did.
This is just going to be introducing her as this character, or do you think we're going to get the next Thor movie with Natalie Portman as Thor?
Probably
Lady
not.
Thor in a movie.
Probably not. I have a feeling that it's not as much of a replacement as we think it is.
Right.
I think that this is
It'll kind of be like when like Captain America got Mjolnir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something up. There's something up that tells me that that something doesn't line up. Like I think because he sees Mjolnir again after because in like their reality, Mjolnir was destroyed, meaning that Mjolnir is from a different, theoretically from a different reality.
Because he went back in time and what's it called and got Mjolnir back.
Yeah, but he got it back, but then it was returned. Captain America took it with him.
Oh, right.
So Mjolnir doesn't exist in the timeline that we know. So it has to have come from somewhere else, theoretically. They don't really need to explain it as a multiversal thing because they've given so many other excuses.
Well, hammers!
Yeah, well, they've given us so many other excuses to things, but I have a feeling that she's from that original reality that he left.
Well, maybe
where she becomes Thor because he dies or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, in a different right. She's not even the right. Oh, fuck me. It's going to be the multiverse again.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. It doesn't necessarily because Thor, because through their original trilogy, they've done a lot of things to explain crap like that outside of the multiverse.
In the comics, she gets the power while she's dying of cancer or something.
Yeah.
And having the power of Mjolnir
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
The power of Thor keeps her alive.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the deal in this movie, and she has to do something to get rid of it, and then she dies of cancer.
Maybe. I don't know.
And everyone rejoices.
But there's a lot. But there's a it's I don't think I don't feel like it's as cut and dry as just she's the new Thor, because I don't even think they would have told you she was Thor if that was the case.
What do you mean?
Like, I think in all these previews and stuff like that, I think they just tell you Jane was back, and then they would have just let it kind of become a thing that she was going to be the new Thor. But
they show her in the whole garb.
Yeah, no, they show in the garb like she is Thor. But I'm saying that I don't think that they are planning to move forward in the franchise with her as Thor moving forward. I think that they would have not been so
they said
forthcoming.
An Avengers movie for like a long time, I think.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Well, Feige said, there's no immediate plans for what. I think they're trying to just build, rebuild. They have to rebuild the team.
They killed all their dudes off.
It's all the Dream Team retired.
Yeah, the Dream Team's done, so they gotta make a new Dream Team.
Yeah, precisely. So, and we got a ways to go for that now. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It is what it is.
I asked a female.
Yeah.
Who will be named?
Yeah.
I said
Rick Scott, former LA Laker.
I want to see an all-female Avengers team, and she said, "Hell no." You know why? Because the chicks want to see ripped dudes.
Yeah. So do I.
Of course, everybody does.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they're going too far, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think like I said, man, like it's well, we're gonna see where it goes.
Yeah.
But if the whole team, like literally, it's gonna be Ant-Man, the new Black Panthers. What's her name?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Ant-Man, Falcon, Winter Soldier. Well, that's good for them. Fuck, right?
Yeah.
Somebody must be,
But this is what I'm saying. But this is where your thing kind of falls apart, though. There's not going to be an Avengers movie, so there's not going to be an all-female Avengers.
Right.
So that's where. I mean,
there could be a branch off.
They could have little teams. I think you're going to get a Young Avengers movie, to be honest with you. And I think that's what they've been building with Yelena and like all these other people. What's her face? Kate. Is it Kate from Hawkeye?
Oh, Bishop.
Yeah, Kate Bishop and
Ms. Mara. Girl, you can join anytime, girl.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of like those ones, and I was like, I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting.
I feel like almost like my mentality on it is like slightly. I can admit it, like slightly male. Like whatever the word is I'm looking for. Because, like, to be honest with you, my fantasy is like an all Avengers chick team. Yeah. And all their tight things and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I don't want to.
My kid mind is like, oh, dudes punching it red, like.
I don't want an all anything. I didn't want an all male Avengers. I didn't want an all female Avengers.
And I agree with you. Like, it should be like a nice split.
Yeah.
But that's where I was going with this. Essentially, the entire team was all dudes for the longest time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Black Widow.
Yeah. Yeah,
and no, Shang-Chi. I forgot about Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi also part of the mix.
So maybe it is close.
And Hawkeye still.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, there's people, and then
retirement,
and then theoretically Spider-Man.
Well, he's still
Doctor Strange.
So
they're still dudes. They're still dudes. We're still here.
Yeah, they're just not as cool as like Thor.
It's not. It's not the same.
None of them are.
But at the same time, I was like, I don't even know if they fathomed getting this far with the MCU, because we're like, what?
It's a bad place to be in, really.
Yeah, it's like, man, we've made 9 movies with all like some of the biggest movie stars in the world. We managed to get
movies.
Yeah, right. It's like we have like, what was it? It's like 5. Disney right now has like 5 of the all-time highest grossing movies or something that. Yeah. Right? It's just bananas.
Let's roll along.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to another superhero movie.
I can't believe you're not sweating.
I'm a little bit
sweating my fucking balls off all day.
Yeah, but you came in sweating. I have barely left this house.
Climatized.
Yeah, pretty much. But so the next big superhero movie, Todd Phillips' Joker script is done, and apparently it's a musical.
Oh God, what?
And apparently Lady Gaga, who we talked about at the beginning of this, is in talks to play Harley Quinn.
And it's a musical?
Apparently.
Come on.
I don't know. Is that how they're softening his weird white male rage version of Joker in the first one? I like
Joker. That was good.
I was just like,
Joaquin Phoenix. Good in it, man.
I thought I thought all of the pieces were good, but it was like the big complaint where they were like, this just feels like it was just some like incel wrote this and like getting all his frustrations out. I was like, I kind of see that.
Nah, come on.
No, I was
He
like,
hate women, did he?
no, but it's not about hating women. It's about just being like, I'm gonna be the thing. It's all about me, and like it's just like
messed up.
Yeah, and it was just like it just came from that weird
like
messed up place
in the Rye or something, where he's just like this.
Like, yeah, well, it's to a lot of people, it just felt like a love letter to those people instead of really making him the bad guy.
He was the bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
It was almost like Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
It was like weird. It was like which De Niro was in.
Yeah. True.
I don't feel
no
that
argument
glorified him. It just told the story of a guy going nuts.
Yeah.
And he just happens to be super cool Joker.
Yeah. I still can't get I can't get past the makeup. I can't get past it's like the acting was great and all that, but I was like the makeup.
Man, he's one of the best in the biz.
Yeah, the makeup though, I was just like, I just wanted to die every time I like looked at his face. I'm like, come on, it's like it's the it's the
Joker makeup.
He's the I was like, his clothes were fine. His face makeup, I was like,
it was just the beginning.
I know, but
it was Joker Day.
I know, but I was like, I
still haven't finished watching the Batman. I don't have Crave. I watched that. I really liked it.
I haven't watched it yet either. I haven't gotten around to it. But one day.
You're not into the DCs.
I'm into some.
I still haven't seen Suicide Squad.
No, I still haven't seen Suicide Squad.
Oh, my God.
I still haven't seen.
Think you're cheating on Disney? You think Disney call you?
Not at all.
On me?
No, the problem is because when I wanted to spend the time to watch, like I've been for the last 2 months, every spare minute I've been doing something else.
Yeah. So
it's just been like I haven't had time. I wanted to watch Suicide Squad and I wanted to watch Peacemaker. I really want to watch Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah, Peacemaker.
But which is supposed to be amazing. So it's like
ass.
Mm-hmm.
Kicking ass.
Just to double back to something, this is a point I was trying to make about the Star Wars stuff earlier, and this is going to be a quicker one. We need to talk about spoilers on social media.
Podcasts?
Just on spoilers. Well, in social media in general.
Spoiler.
But the idea, I woke up this morning and Obi-Wan dropped. So as we're recording this, it's Wednesday. I woke up this morning. And I just popped on, I'm just laying in bed and I was just thumbing through shit. And people literally, the minute that Obi-Wan came out, they watched it, took screenshots of it, and then just put it all all over Twitter. And they're like, look at this happened, this happened. And it's not even, and it wasn't even oh my God, I can't believe this happened. They were reacting to it. I was like, that sucks. That you spoiled something, but they were reacting, or they're engaging conversation. Go, what do we think about this episode? What do we think about this big twist? Or it was just, here's what happened, assholes. And I'm just I woke up to that, and I just responded. I'm like, why would you do that? And then literally, no, but then
I never have anything spoiled for me because I don't look at any of that bullshit.
But this is the problem, and this was their response was basically, don't go on Twitter then. I'm like, so I have to give up fucking everything because you can't just not do that.
Should be on Twitter anyways. Elon Musk don't.
But he doesn't own anything yet.
Oh,
so he's
fraudster.
No, because that's the thing. He wanted, he's like, I'm going to buy it. And then everybody's like, we do not want you to buy it because we're sick of billionaires buying communication shit.
Exactly. It's the thing doesn't even make sense. Why do you, I dig Elon Musk. I dig the whole Tesla thing. I like the whole electric car thing, but I think he's starting to lose it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that was his whole thing. And now he's kind of getting himself out of it by going, well, Twitter didn't provide these things for me that I asked for, so I'm not going to buy it. So that was
it's just a weird. It's it's something that already exists.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? The only thing I can think is that just unban everybody that says crazy shit.
Well,
that's the only thing I can think.
That was his first thing, and he said his big thing, his big goal, which would be an admirable goal if I believed him, was to get rid of all the bot accounts and stuff like that. Because that's the big thing is Republican groups, and I'm sure Democrat groups too, and all these other random groups, but more right wing crazy. It's QAnon folk and stuff.
You could have done instead of giving a shit about that. Why don't you give your $44 billion to Africa?
Yeah.
Why don't you feed a country with
I know.
$44 billion? Your main concern is to buy a social media platform. You could have done so much with that money.
Well, and this is what was really funny was then people were like, he doesn't have, why is it that a billionaire just has to do that and has to help other countries or do this? Why does he have to buy Twitter?
Exactly.
It's just a choice. I can do this thing or this other thing.
You've got more money than God. Do something good with it. What are you gonna do with it? You can't go. You can't take it with you.
Well, because then you end up
something we don't.
Because then you end up like Bill Gates, who's I'm going to spend billions of dollars on helping get the vaccine, and they're he's just doing that to put trackers in us. Meanwhile,
Who cares?
Elon Musk actually said he wants to put trackers in us. And they're like, you're a genius, man. That's amazing. He's like those Neuralink things. He's like, wait, what do you think the fuck that is?
Yeah, no way in hell.
Those are people who wouldn't have a friggin' Google Nest in their house.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, put the thing
in my brain.
Yeah. How many Dogecoin does that cost?
Dogecoin.
Fuck. All right. I want to hear from you about, anyways, so the whole spoiler thing, they're like, don't go on Twitter, don't do this. I'm like, can we not just have the human decency to just not actively try to fuck it for people? Because they're like, I'm going to post spoilers all I want. Because that's all they said. Like, literally, they're just trying to spoil the show for other people.
Exactly, because they're just evil.
Yeah. And I'm like, I could see people
take joy in other people's misery.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's no human decency there. And I'm like, I conduct business through Twitter. Like, I mean, for better or worse, this is a business. Doesn't make any money outside of some t-shirt sales, but this is a business. And I conduct that on Twitter. So I'm not allowed to conduct my business because you're going to be an asshole about posting stuff like that. I do the same thing with my YouTube stuff. Follow that. But I can't go on Twitter because you just are going to post pictures of what happened. And I was like, and it doesn't stop there because every day there's a new episode of something. So what we can't just ruined. It's like everything's just always constantly being ruined. Yeah, but you can't block everybody, man. Like, but like I could block 50 people that I think are going to get me around seeing spoilers for this thing, and it's just going to come around somebody else. Like it never stops.
Like that's why I don't do social media. The whole thing is completely toxic.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. It doesn't help anybody.
No.
It is just a toxic environment. It's making kids more neurotic and more technologically dependent.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like these kids, we're supposed to be creating stronger human beings, but they're all just fucked.
Yeah.
Because of social fucking media.
100%. It's so sad too, because I mean, when you look at the intended use for these things, just like the most
very good.
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. I was like, you have the intended use and like just the ability, like when what was it? India used Twitter to like point out social injustice that undid like all this stuff. That's that was huge. And but then on the other side, people used Facebook to basically almost cause a genocide in Myanmar.
Yeah.
Like it's like it goes both ways. And I was like
cyberbullying.
Yeah.
They've even done studies, man. They just look it up, man. Just type in, is social media good for you? Watch what comes up.
And here's the thing.
And you're not going to believe me anyways because all that shit is fake.
Todd, yeah.
And, I'm lying to you.
But Todd just answered a big part of his own question there when he literally said, who's they? Because he knows what the fucking social media response is going to be.
Exactly.
Goes, what do you mean they? So it's so bad. And it's like, I want to communicate with people. And there's people who reach out to us to tell us they like the podcast and things like that. And it's like, I can't.
He's 25, addicted to his phone. He admits it. Mm-hmm. And they banned phones in the wheelhouse. Yeah. And he says the entire time, it's like he has like the fucking jitters.
Yeah.
It's like he's not on his phone. And I know that this lady, and her young kids, and I brought a PS4 to their house. Yeah. None of them want to play the PS4 because they would rather play piece of shit games on their phone.
That's bananas.
Like they literally started to play Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And the youngest was like, I want to go on my phone. I don't like this game.
Yeah.
I want to go on my phone. And today, literally, he's like, look at the graphics on this game. And I was like, you are fucking kidding me.
But those are barely graphics.
Like stick guy, jumps to his... I'm like, this is like, you have the PS4 right there. Like you'd rather...
Actually, speaking of bad-looking video game on a good system, I'm currently reviewing the Wonder Boy collection on the Nintendo Switch. How long? Remember playing Wonder Boy on my Sega Master System?
Yep.
So I have...
got very far.
I beat it before.
Did you?
It took forever, but I beat it before.
It was really tough, I think.
It was really hard. It was really tough. I only got through like 3 or 4 levels.
This jump was always kind of weird. Not weird, but the timing of it was...
The way they spaced out like rocks or like... It would be like 2... You'd have to like land in exactly what spot and then double... Sometimes.
Yeah.
Which was really funny because it was a prehistoric thing where you're like throwing like stone hatchets, but also you had a skateboard. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I wanted to get your thoughts on Top Gun Maverick, because you went and saw it. Yeah, like it was
way better than it had any right to be.
That's everybody who I've heard it said.
Dude, it was like some of the scenes. It's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So it's like real in cockpit.
Yeah.
Shit, and it was exhilarating.
Yeah.
Like seeing them like, and you're like, holy shit! Like
I saw a TikTok where they were doing one of those low flyover things.
Yeah.
And it was the guy sitting there, and he was just doing like selfie like this, and they had the camera like pointed up, and then you just see this like he could have like. If he had good legs, he could have jumped up and slapped the bottom of this plane when it came, and it just boom, and he was just like, ah, and I was like, oh my god, like.
But it was super. It hit all the things it should. It was like emotional, and like I said, the entire movie just builds up to the mission.
Yeah,
and it's so killer. Like
that's nice.
It was good. And there's a preview for Mission Impossible 19.
Yeah,
it's wicked.
Nice. Is this the one where he goes to space, or is that the next one?
Who knows? They're not this one.
Okay,
it's part one.
Oh, so
they're pulling the whole Stranger Things. They're like, oh well, this is gonna be the last season. It's in 7 parts.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That's like what they're doing with Fast and Furious too. It was
that one deserves a double whammy. Yeah, they're making so thick on this one that
But here's the problem.
You know what the twist ending is? This one's for family, bud.
Yeah.
This one's for family.
We just lost our camera.
Because we talked so long. The fucking it's probably so hot. It melted.
Nah, we've done longer than this. All right.
It's so hot it melted.
Yeah, no, I hope that's not true.
But Top Gun Maverick was super cool. In the theater was awesome. Tom Cruise came on the beginning and he was like, hey, thanks for coming to the movies. I'm Tom Cruise. I was like,
that's awesome.
Everybody in the theater loved it too. Like even the people, because the people that were sitting in front of me, like my new buddy Julian, you're the fucking man.
Hey, Julian.
And don't fucking talk to my friend.
I don't deserve new friends anyways. I can barely handle the one.
Everybody in the movie, like there was kids in there, and they admitted they'd never seen the first.
Yeah.
And I was like, after you see this one, I was like, don't watch the first.
Yeah.
I was like, you understand everything that Goose was his partner, now it's his son.
Yeah.
They give you it all. They give you spoiler.
No.
They give you it all.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the ending, they all die. Kim Jong-un comes in. It's a mission about to take down Kim Jong-un. Wait, listen to this. Okay, so this kid that I know is doing her homework.
Okay.
And she was supposed to, a long time ago, write a review on Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, God.
And she's like, I didn't watch the movie. She was like, so I don't even know what the hell. I was like, give me a piece of paper. And I wrote a review. And I was like, your thing is so late. You should just hand this in and see what they say. But this was essentially my review. It had to have like a good title, it said.
Yeah.
So the title was, What's Love Got to Do With It? Exclamation point, huh? Right? And so the plot, okay, so I was like, Shakespeare in Love is a movie starring Joseph Fiennes, because I guess Ray Fiennes wasn't available, so they had to get the cheaper version. And it also stars Gwyneth Paltrow in not one, but 2 roles. I was like, the movie starts out with Shakespeare trying to write a play, while at the exact same moment putting that very play on the stage, while also trying to fall in love. He finds this dude, who he's pretty good handyman, says he can act, goes up on stage, greatest depiction of a man ever on stage. He goes backstage, boom, accidentally finds out dude's a chick. He's like, double whammy, awesome. He's like, found the girl of my dreams. She's also a great actor. Going to be in the play. Okay, second act, he's going around looking for hats or something. Meets another girl, also played by Gwyneth Paltrow, dressed exactly the same as she was in the first act, only with a different wig. So he's like, skip on down. He's seeing both these girls on the sly. Then the day of the premiere performance, Gwyneth Paltrow 2 jumps up on stage to confront Gwyneth Paltrow 1 in a CG mess.
This was The Prestige, right?
Yes. And I said it was just like in a Double Impact, where there's like 2 Van Dams and one's always in the dark and one's in the light. I was like, what a sloppy mess. Anyways, the 2 of them run towards each other and splash together and morph. I said it hits the ground, and coming out of the primordial ooze is Mecha Gwyneth Paltrow, who then eats Shakespeare. The audience then turns to the camera and says, snack time, and the last shot of the movie is Mecha Gwyneth Paltrow's mouth swallowing you, the viewer. That was the movie. Shakespeare in Love.
In as few sentences as possible, Tell the group about your NAFTA project when you did your history.
It had nothing to do with nothing. It had not a thing to do with NAFTA. I think the guy's name was John NAFTA.
Frank NAFTA.
Frank NAFTA.
There's a man named Frank NAFTA who poisoned the water supply. And what that meant for us was literally we had our friend who played Frank NAFTA drive around in his van that was constantly playing Rock Lobster diegetic to his thing. So the idea was he only listens to Rock Lobster by the B-52s when he's driving around. We're just going to deal with the noise of this because I think I'm overheating the camera. So
that's what I said.
Yeah, so it didn't, but it didn't melt. It's just hot. Oh, yeah, well, not now. So yes, that was that, and then the only other set piece we had in place was Todd had an orange cat, and there was also an orange cat stuffed animal in his house. So we just used that, and he was like, saw the cat, got a shot of him, like, hey kitty, and then all of a sudden we just threw the other one, and Todd had like an 8-minute fight scene with his cat where he like beat it to death, and then he cried for a little bit, and then it was just like
After bed. If somebody asks you to do something, just handed something completely so off the wall that they're just like, I don't even know what to say, A+.
Yep.
And I told her, I was like, hand this thing in just to see what... I was like, you're not handing it in anyways. Just hand it in.
Yeah.
The teacher would be like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, her mother was like, oh, that's good. She thought that was the movie. Because she had not seen the movie. She was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good review of a movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, anybody? They both were just like, oh, yeah, this sounds like a pretty cool movie. Yeah. I was like, what?
I do understand. If I didn't know, I'd be like, oh, so that's why it beat Saving Private Ryan. Now I get it.
Exactly.
Because the snack time.
Oh, you know, I saw on one of these movie sites.
Yeah.
It was Tom Hanks talking about it was a whole article on why Forrest Gump beat Pulp Fiction at the Oscars.
Yeah.
The real question is how could anything have beaten The Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah. There's so many.
Like, what are you fucking talking about? Forrest Gump versus Pulp Fiction.
I know.
Like there's the clear.
Because there's industries like
I'll never get over it. Clearly, I haven't.
No. Well, and that's the thing. It's like I think that like. And again, because it was obvious to you that one thing should win, within the industry, it was obvious that another one was going to win because they're like, well, it's it's what's his face there.
He's in a lot of movies now.
Yeah.
The Elvis movie, he's Colonel Parker, Tom. Then he's in Pinocchio.
I had a chance to review that, but I'm busy, so I can't go.
I'll go as you.
There you go.
Zell's TCB, baby.
Yeah. Yeah,
anything like else. Hips like him, baby.
Opportunities for that and Minions came up, but I am going to be reviewing the next season of Only Murders in the Building.
Ooh,
so we got that to go. We'll probably talk about that on here when the embargo is up and all that kind of stuff. And then so now we go from a good review for Top Gun to a bad review. Jurassic World Dominion. I haven't seen it yet, but it is getting trounced in the.
It's like the worst of the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that really bothered me, and I was like, I don't know, I might be in the minority on this. I hated the second Jurassic World movie.
Oh, I kind of dug it, actually.
See, I was like, there were parts I liked, like the whole thing at the beginning with like when they were like carpet bombing.
They turned into a thriller though, where they get chased by the endo.
Well, and then you were like the mystery of like James Cromwell's granddaughter is like, who is she?
And he has this house that have all these dinosaurs in it. Like, who the fuck
and like so like there was, and I was just like, what is this? It was like they just tried to build an elevated version of the second movie where they took everything.
Essentially, yes. Yeah. Well, they just followed the same path as the other movies.
Right. And I was just kind of like, I don't really care. And then this one, they were like, the one person's review of it was like, how is it that the thing you see the least in this dinosaur movie is dinosaurs?
I like to it's like a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's just like a bunch of Japanese people yakking in a lab for fucking 45 minutes and then Godzilla fucking shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I still want to see it just to see it because I like seeing.
I thought that the preview was fake when I first saw it, and they were like the dinosaurs are running over the snow.
Yeah,
I was like, the special effects are so shitty. I was like, is this a fake preview?
Yeah.
And then it just seems like almost like a ride at Universal Studios where like he's driving his motorcycle and the raptors are chasing him, and sure as shit, then there's two like T-Rexes just hanging out. He's like, oh, there's two T-Rexes, and then he like drives through, and then there's T-Rexes standing up there. Like I'm like, they're all hanging out at the same place.
Yeah, I get this.
Like, everywhere he goes, then they're all there.
I know I'm not right, but I get this vibe like the dinosaurs are all walking around and people are like just doing their daily like I'm just shopping, and then it's like just stay inside till the T-Rex goes by. All right, thanks for the froyo, and then walk past.
That hot dog stand earlier today might be all right.
But yeah, those were the two movies that were dominating the thing, and could not have.
They said it was going to be like the biggest Tom Cruise movie like ever.
Yeah, it's doing huge numbers, and Jurassic World did really big numbers. It's in its early stages,
Jurassic World was, but I think I think Top Gun was more of the surprise.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to tell you the reason that the movie is super awesome is because it's real planes and real shit going down.
Yeah.
And you can't beat
that,
you know, and then of course it's Tom Cruise, right? So like even in Mission Impossible 7 where he's driving the helicopter and like
because you can
awesome stunts, you're like, holy shit.
You can always feel authenticity. That's all there is to it. It's like it doesn't even have to look real, it feels real if it's done right. And that's why when people do like good CG, and then you're like, oh man, that part was CG. Like, there's an obvious thing where they're fighting a big alien or something. You're like, oh, that's CG. But they're like, really, that part was CG? Yeah. Those are the ones where you're like, okay, they did a good job.
Well, that was the one thing about Jurassic World Dominion too, because they said they use a lot of practical effects, and I was like, oh, cool, like.
Yeah, they actually grew real dinosaurs. BD
Wong. I remember BD Wong knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He gets into a role. He gets right into it.
Yeah, well, that's why it took this long for the first one. He's like, I really nailed it down. He's like, my other dinosaurs were friggin' nightmares. I was like, they all just basically, they'd hatch, shit themselves, and die.
I didn't understand it in the second one there. What were they going to do with these dinosaurs? What was Buddy going to do with an Endoraptor?
The plan sounded like it was going to be to weaponize them.
You slap a gun in his hand and off you go.
Well, it was like that was like in the first Jurassic World, they were like kind of like playing with that a little bit with him being the trainer of the raptors. It's like they can be trained, they can obey, they can do this, and then it was like
when Kingpin showed up.
Yes, precisely when Kingpin showed up.
Off of him, he's like, you know, take on Spider-Man, a raptor.
Nice.
That would Spider-Man can take a raptor. I fucking totally good.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say if not, he can totally avoid a raptor.
Oh, absolutely.
But he could like web him down, like raptors.
And just spidey senses. Yeah, he's got it. He can like throw a bus. Yeah, he'd wail on him.
Yeah, it should be fine. He should raptor, and a real raptor was only like 3 feet tall, so that's
right. It's a little.
He's got that thing's a pussy.
What else is coming out? What am I gonna waste my ticket on next?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bullet Train looks good.
Yeah.
It looks like a sassy adventure. I think the other one's Dune 5.
Not yet. Jerry Seinfeld is in the middle of getting ready his directorial debut.
Oh my god.
He co-wrote and is directing a movie about the Kellogg's versus Post cereal thing, and it's called Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart Story, and it stars everybody. I got a list of some of the people here. It's Hugh Grant, Amy Schumer, Melissa McCarthy, Christian Slater, Jim Gaffigan, Jack McBrayer, James Marsden, Tom Lennon, and Bobby Moynihan. And there was way more guys than that. I just couldn't list them all. But it's just about the real life.
Of course, it's about cereal,
and it's going to be on Netflix. So
I wonder if who did he co-write it with?
I didn't recognize the names.
Right? Did you see Rescue Rangers?
I haven't watched it yet.
It's freaking awesome.
It sounded like it was going to be good.
I only saw the first half an hour and then I had to go, but it was really funny. I really liked it.
I'm looking forward to it because it's got like apparently it's got a lot of cameos.
It was really funny what I saw so far,
I've been trying to get,
I was talking about it.
I was trying to get the kids to watch it, and they're like, I don't want to watch that. And I'm like, I think it'll be fun. But Abby's now, this is the thing, my daughter's 11, and now she skipped past fun family movies. She went from like little girl movies to now she's just watching straight up horror movies. We went to Comic-Con and she met Nick Castle, who was the friggin' first Michael Myers, and she met Roger L. Jackson, who's the voice of Ghostface. Right? Like those are the people she wanted to meet, and those are like she bought the shirts and she bought like that was like everything.
Your answering machine message.
Oh god, that would be funny. Nobody gets my answering machine. Nobody even calls me. It's like
true. It's just for you. You gotta ring through, listen to a giggle, hang up. Well, I got a message. It's you giggling. I
was like, I have 30 of these because I don't know how to delete them. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. We're not going to do trailers anymore for these movies. We're going to announce the next movie, but we're going to stop trailers because the music in the trailers are demonetizing the videos on YouTube, so we have to stop.
The man called us.
Yeah. Well, this is where it's the lines are blurred and everything sucks because basically like just algorithms are programmed to find music, and instantly a claim goes on. A claim goes on your thing, and then they get any money that video makes. Now we're not monetized right now, but like that would be
we're in the minuses, so then they have to pay our debt.
Yes.
Yeah, suckers. Yeah.
This was a good
that one.
This was a good tax year as a result too, because all the stuff that I did buy, it was all somebody said, because like we've got things, my other stuff, like some of my other stuff is monetized. So like this camera, for example, is a business expense, despite the fact that I didn't make an actual cent.
Can you see this thing on my chin?
I theoretically could, but I'm not gonna.
Man. Okay, so dig this. I was going around, on the subway tracks.
Yeah.
Way down the line, I was looking for mole men.
Yeah.
And I had a lunch in a sleeping bag.
The camera's over here. And, you're just literally.
And I was doing a story for a local newspaper on mole men.
Yeah.
And how they lived. It's not because I hit rock bottom and now live. Don't even suggest that. And I fell asleep. And when I woke up, there was a rat doing the nasty on my chin. And now this.
And now this is who I am.
I let him finish.
Well, no, you're a gentleman.
I'm like, whatever, if I'm gonna gonna do the story for this paper, I just go for it.
Yeah, no doubt.
If anybody can suggest, a cream or a hostel,
or a counter curse, that would be, call the number on the screen, please. Yep. The number is 12. Call 12.
Oh,
wouldn't that be amazing?
Got him.
Could you imagine if just nobody's ever tried to get those numbers? What's your number? 4. So you could do that? Yeah, nobody's ever tried.
Yeah, nobody.
You could do literally.
Like when you find that secret menu, like when we ordered the Mega Frosty.
Oh, the biggie, great biggie, or whatever.
Total accident. I don't know what happened. They were just like, here it is. You're just like, well, there goes my afternoon. Like
the great biggie Frosty had that thing that you wring mops out in on the top of it. It was so big. Like it was
wring mops out.
It was just a big ass buck. It was just to show off how big it was. All right. Because we were trying to end this earlier, we're just going to announce the movie.
The thing is there because after you've eaten that much ice cream, you've probably been pissing and shitting this everywhere, so you can turn it into a mop bucket and then just mop yourself up.
Absolutely. So next week we're doing a movie that I don't remember what we're doing, so I have to bring up the calendar.
The longest mini-sode ever.
It's not, because you say that every time, and it's only a little bit longer. There we go. So,
for the love of God,
next week we are doing a fun one that just kind of like occurred to us one day. We're doing an old 80s classic where a Scottish man is played by a Frenchman and an Egyptian/Spaniard is played by a Scotsman. We are watching Highlander.
I got to do an argument with somebody who they said that in Highlander 2, Sean Connery doesn't actually return. He's a memory. But he does actually return, doesn't he?
He does, because there's literally scenes that don't involve Christopher Lambert. He shows up in a play, like they're doing like Shakespeare in the part.
All I needed was the yes, because then she was making me feel like I was wrong.
No, he literally shows up and has a complete separate thing, and then Christopher Lambert sees him and then reacts to him as, "How are you back?" And then the answer's like, "'Cause you clapped your hands." All the lawsuits haven't all come through yet.
Well, maybe because he's so powerful that he believes so strongly that it did bring him back.
I don't know.
He probably has lots of powers.
He does. If he has the prize, then he probably does have that power. Well, the quickening is when you get each individual's powers, but the prize is when you've won the whole thing, when you've killed everybody and you are the last one.
You are the
and then that's how you can hear everybody's thoughts and communicate and do all that kind of shit.
What a great prize.
Well, it's not like you have to hear. It's like I could like tune in.
Why would you even want to?
Well, I don't know. It gives you the way they explain
Poker?
it. The way they explain it is no, because I don't think that whatever entity kind of created this amongst them was thinking about gaming, but it was
if you could read everyone's thoughts.
I know, but the idea and what he says is that he can use it to help people. He can bring the world together by like forcing. Like basically, like forcing communication between like world leaders who are at war, and like
in the States right now.
Oh God, it wouldn't work. They'd somehow cut off his head, and they'd be like, "There can be only QAnon." So, anyways, we're doing the Highlander next week, so make sure you come and check that one out. That was a fun watch because we hadn't seen that in ages, either of us.
I don't remember a goddamn thing about it either.
Yeah, that was just like. Man,
it was awesome.
But yeah, no,
it was soundtrack by Queen.
Soundtrack by Queen. You got
good rumbles.
Yeah, what's his face? Clancy. Can't remember his goddamn name as Kurg.
He was amazing.
Yeah, it was all good. But
you mean the Terminator? Or sorry, Kurg.
Yeah. Oh my God, what a Right when you mentioned that, because I didn't even think about that, and then right when you mentioned that, I'm like, I saw nothing else except a Terminator with a weirder face. Yeah, which would probably be more, which would probably be more indicative of a robot being underneath the skin. But be that as it may, that's it for this episode, guys. If you are watching, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, do all those wonderful things. If you are listening, make sure to rate and review us wherever you're doing that. It helps us get seen and heard and all those wonderful things as well. Follow us on all the socials and things like that downstairs, despite the fact that the things that we both said and we have harsh feelings against socials, that also helps us at least communicate with you when crazy shit's going on.
Oh, I just want to give a shout out to all the women of the United States. You're all welcome in my room, baby. Jump the border fence, come to my house. I'll treat you right, girl.
Yeah. And then you can get the abortions because you don't want to carry whatever Todd's putting in you.
If it gets to the 6th trimester, it will eat its way out of you.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So you should.
Yeah.
It's really... Yeah.
They grow up to look fine, but they come out looking like ghoulies. It just there's a little.
Oh, it's my little ghoulie baby.
And it's like eventually it's like, oh, he grew into it. It's fine, and it's all good.
Into the slime.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's a good a place to end as any because we got another thing to record tonight. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Peace.